You had some room to run the other day on some of those punt returns. Hadn't been the case very often. Coach said probably the best job the group as a whole did on all of their responsibilities.
Yeah, we did. We had a lot of space on a couple of them. A couple of them we were one block away from taking it to the house, but it was good to kind of get that, for punt return to show some life. I got to continue to make smart decisions back there, and try not to force anything. But Saturday was a confidence booster for I think most of the guys. That we could still make something happen and still make a game-changing play on the punt return team.
Your thought process has had to change back there this year, hasn't it?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I've had to be a lot more patient, and I've had to start forcing things early into the season. I didn't make a lot of mistakes other than the one against Virginia Tech. But for the most part, I've had to kind of be more prepared from a returner standpoint. I've had to watch more film, and I've had to expect different things because teams have they've changed their whole game plan when they've played us. So it's kind of hard to come into a game when you don't know what to expect.
I know early on, Coach said, and I think you even said the first couple of weeks, maybe you were trying to do too much. Have you gone through sort of a series of how you approach this, or you're trying to do too much, then you have to maybe scale back, and you're also dealing with the fact that the responsibilities weren't always being taken care of? Has it been real difficult just kind of finding where you need to be? As far as your mental approach to it and just sort of understanding this is who we are and this is what I can do?
Yeah, I've tried to stay at a level medium the whole year. I mean, because if I scale back a little bit, that's taken away from what I do best, which is just playing, enthusiastic, playing, 110%. So I've just had to change up my decision making, not necessarily scale it back or anything, but just kind of make better decisions. And then on the ones that I do end up returning, try to make something happen. But the opportunity's been kind of limited thus far this year, but I feel like we got a couple more weeks to try and make something happen, and for us to do that, I can't scale it back. I've got to continue to play at a high level and continue to make smart decisions.
And going back to the other day, they're pretty good with their punt coverage, and you guys did have a couple of good returns. How close do you feel like you are to just getting that one?
Yeah, I feel like we are close. Like I said, we were 1 or 2 blocks away on Saturday from taking one to the house, so it's just going to be continuing to rep it in practice. And then a lot of factors go into it. We've got to get a good kick. The guys got to get a good hold up on those guys. And, like Virginia's case, the punter was back there holding the ball a little bit so his coverage team could get down there. So a lot of things go into a punt return, and hopefully come the coming weeks we can get all of those things to work in our favor.
How quickly do you have to make that decision? I mean, I know you're taking a lot in, the coverage, the time, the height of the kick. How quickly do you have to make a decision to fair catch or go?
Well, this year I've tried to slow that decision down. If I fair catch it, I want to fair catch it at the last second. I want to leave absolutely no doubt that there's not going to be any space. Because if I fair catch it too early and there's space, there's one of the few opportunities that I got to make something happen gone. So this year as I've gotten more mature at it and I've gotten a lot better and more confident with it, I've been able to slow my decision making down and kind of wait until the last second to shut it down or to just go ahead and try to make something happen.
So is it at the height of the peak of the height?
It's when it's coming down. When it's coming down and you can start to see out of your peripheral if there's some different color jerseys around you, then you got to make a smart decision.
On the other hand, if you do not fair catch it and you have to retreat, there's a chance that you might lose 5 yards or so.
Yeah, there's always that chance. There's always also a chance where you make the first 2 or 3 guys miss and you score. So you got to take the good with the bad. Like I said, I don't think other than the two bad decisions I made were obviously Virginia Tech and then I think the Notre Dame punt return when I lost a couple yards. So other than that, not fair catching it hasn't really hurt me. It's just taken a lot more hits on my body. So a bit fortunate for that.
As a receiver, you really seem like you're finding a comfort zone. You've had a couple big games. Last game not so much, but the 2 games prior to that. It looks to me like you're 10 times better than you were a year ago. Route running, catching, turning up field, everything you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I actually just watched last season's film. I get in and watch some film, and I watched myself last year, and it's like I'm 2 different people. So I feel if I can keep improving, then the sky's the limit for me really as a receiver. And I've come a long way. This is still only my second year of organized football playing receiver.
Yeah.
So I know that my potential is really high and that I can continue to grow.
What's one thing that stood out where you saw yourself said, wow, I'm not even that guy at all now?
Just understanding how to run a route. I mean, they very crisp. Just last year I was very timid. They had a lot of things in the game plan for me last year, and I didn't capitalize on it because I was just lackadaisical in my route. I thought I was doing it right, but when you look back on it, I really wasn't. So this year, my route running is like I said, 10 times better. Inside receiver, I think, is a lot harder than outside. You gotta read coverages. So I'm learning how to read coverages and break off my route to get in the open window and zone coverages. So all those things, go into being a good slot receiver.
Is it more physical at the line of scrimmage too?
Yeah. I mean, unless the outside guys are getting pressed, because we're having to work with bigger safeties, cover down defenders, linebackers. So we're having to deal with all those guys in a small area. So I feel like it's more difficult.
I find it amazing how many people don't realize that you were running back in high school. You didn't play receiver. Do you run into that at all?
Yeah, actually, I was talking to. I can't remember. It may have been a ref who was talking to me before the Virginia game and said he was following me but didn't know I played running back or something. So, I haven't played receiver. I mean, they brought me here to play receiver. I feel like they knew it was going to take some time to get me, to mold me into the player that they want me to be. But, I feel very confident in my ability at the receiver position. I'm still getting some carries out of the backfield, so I'm just a playmaker. So anytime I can get the ball in my hands.
Do you feel like you're about on track where you need to be, or where you should be at this point?
Yeah.
Individually.
Yeah. I do, and like I said, I've got another year or two to grow before I get to take it to the next level. But I feel like I'm improving, and that's really all you can ask for. You come out here, anytime you get live reps in practice or in 7-on-7, anything like that, where you can work your craft. And Coach Brew's done a great job with me, and just spending time on the little details and making sure everything is crisp and it's good. So I feel like I'm where I need to be, and I just got to continue to make plays when the ball comes to me.
Excellent.